So tell us what happened when you got to the hospital.
Oh, that was the worst experience ever. They left me in a hallway. I feel like there was some tension because I was a transfer. So they were not very kind. I was laboring with people walking by. It was really horrible, actually. And I was in a lot more pain at the hospital than I was at home. It became really uncomfortable. And then when they gave me a room, they started to kind of separate my husband and I. My husband was really on board with home birth, and they started to tell him, like, she's been in labor for 2 days. The baby's maybe at risk, even though he wasn't. Finally, my husband looked at me and said, baby, let's just do what they're telling. We were so tired.
Can I say something? I just want to I want to clarify that when you said they began to separate you from your husband, you don't mean physically.
No.
Emotionally. I got that.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of the listeners got that. You know, in the era of COVID now, this is way before that. When people say they wanted to separate me from my husband, it sometimes it's for stupid rules and reasons like that. But they were almost using your husband to and driving a wedge between the two of you as far as your goals for the birth. That's what you meant.
Yeah, they were putting fear into him, just telling him that even if they gave me a chance to push, they literally said to us, we're not sure he would survive. The baby would survive. And then at that point, Radar just looked at me and said, you know what, buddy? I love you and I really wanted this home birth and I know that this was really important to you, but just give me my baby. Let's just get our baby out safely and let's just do this together. It just went downhill from there. I was so defeated. I was sobbing. This was my worst case scenario. They took us into the room to have the surgery. I had an allergic reaction to whatever they were giving me. This is so icky to share, guys, but I was like vomiting in my own mouth because they had me laying on my back. For some reason, the only way I could breathe is if I turned my head away to the left, which my husband was to my right. It was awful because I wanted to look at my husband. I needed his support, but I was feeling nauseous. And then we had a C-section. And when the doctor got there, he said, and I'll never forget these words, he said, why are we doing this? She could have pushed. That's literally what he said while he was cutting me open. Why are we doing this? She could have pushed. The baby is right here. And I just sobbed.
Did anyone respond to that statement? Was he making it to the ceiling in the room, or was he speaking to somebody particularly?
He was speaking to the staff, whoever. I mean, it was such a whirlwind. There were so many people in there. It was so violating. It was all the things. And he just looked at them and said, like, why are we doing this? But he had already sliced me and it was horrible.